So I've already talked about how to get your emulator going. Once you've got it going, with the steps I already went through before, you just install Android Studio and use the GUI here to start an emulator, which worked pretty well as intended. And then you've got Android, and now you can go to the store and install Qt just to get a flag. You're on uname -A and you'll get a flag here. So this Qt thing, let me see if I can run that on my emulator. In fact, one thing that was kind of funny is I couldn't find it in the process list, so let's try that. But I should, oh, maybe I didn't install it on this emulator. Oh, I didn't install it since no, I thought I did. Let's see if I have Qt. If I swoop up from here, I'll see them all. And is Qt one of these? Apparently not. Well, that's why I didn't find it. It's not installed, so let me do that. And I thought I already signed in, but maybe not on this device. Or I think it had some problem with setup. Let's try canceling the updates. All right. And I already signed in, but I don't think it remembered me like it should have. There's a few defects in the system. I think I remember my password. Good. So I agree to whatever. I don't want your backups. All right. Now I can install stuff. So QUTE is just a terminal emulator, and there we go. I do not want to link to a PayPal account. Don't pay for anything in this class. If somehow you think you have to pay for something, you don't. Everything we're using is free. All right, so now I can execute terminal commands in the GUI here. And this one is funny. Neither of these buttons seems to work, so I just close it. And now you have to give it some permissions. This is pretty common. After installing something, it'll ask you for permissions. Used to ask before you installed it, but now they seem to ask afterwards. So I just give them whatever they want, because it's just an emulator. Now I can put in commands, like, who am I? Let's see if it'll take that. And it will, and you can see I am U0A146. So you'll have a number there. It's just 146 apps to be installed in this device, apparently. And, all right, I think I maybe do ifconfig. Nope, how about IP? A. Yep, can't do either of those because I think I need to have root permissions for that stuff. But anyway, I can execute some command line commands, and you can get a flag. So that's the first thing. Now, the next thing that you got to do is get it connected to Burp. And I was pretty worried about this because if you look at the IP addresses, you'll find that they are all 10.5. It's running, every Android emulator on the Android Studio is running in its own virtual LAN. They all have the same address. They can't see each other. And I thought that would be a problem, but I Googled some tips and found out just pretend you're dumb enough not to know anything about that. Just forget it. Just run Burp, which is free, and sets up a proxy. I'll put it up there when it's done. Here's my Burp. So launch Burp, a temporary project, start Burp, and you get this proxy here. All right, whoop, that's not the proxy, that's my broadcasting. Here's the proxy. There's my Burp proxy. Yeah, now go to proxy and turn off intercept. That's the most important thing. It'll block all the traffic unless you do that. And now in options, it's currently listening only 127.0.0.1, which is not good enough. You need to listen on your main IP address. So edit it and go to the IP address that really goes to the internet, which here is this 172.17.8.172 in this room. And the thing that I wondered about this, I was wondering how I'd reach that from a local address that's on a different subnet but just don't think. You can just ping it. 172.17.8.172. And you see I'm getting answers. So, and by the way, I hit Control C in here, and that seemed to work. Anyway, so I can ping it, which means apparently somehow it's routing out to there. So you can just set the proxy to go out there without worrying about the networking, which is extremely easy. So I want to change my settings. So I go here to find everything, and then I click and drag settings. I like to put it on the desktop so I don't have to hunt for it. And in here it's network and internet. Now I get a Wi-Fi network, Android Wi-Fi, and I have a gear. I click the gear and then the pencil, and now you can assign a proxy. Manual, which is going to go there, 172.17.8.172, and on port 8080. All right, and now, if I go to history, I can see the traffic on my phone coming out in Burp there. So let's say open up Chrome and get it going again. And I don't want to sync anything. And now I can put a URL somewhere. There, search or type web address. So if I put in a insecure web like http://hackazon is one of my servers, .samsclass.info. This is one that's not encrypted. So you see it does load through this. So looks like it's trashed again. Somebody keeps trashing this server. But anyway, it was able to do the first get. I'll have to reboot that server again. I wonder if this can get big if I double click it. A burp error, Hackazon. Let's try another one of mine. This may be a problem with my burp. ad.samsclass.info is another one. That one loads. Okay, so something's wrong with my Hackazon site again. I think I'm attracting some automated attacks. It seems to go down pretty often. Anyway, now I'm loading this page, so I can load an insecure page, and you see all the requests going through Burp here. Now, if I try to load a secure page, like https samsclass.info, then it's not going to do it. It warns me your connection is not private because I'm going through Burp. And what Burp does is it generates a fake certificate for every page, signed by Portswigger, the makers of Burp. And this is going to tell me the certificate authority is invalid because Portswigger is not a trusted certificate authority. So it's a certificate, but it's not a trusted certificate, and Chrome will not connect to it. Now, I could choose with the advanced and choose to ignore that and go ahead, but I don't want to do that. I want to be warned when I'm going through an insecure certificate. And so, in order to tell the phone to trust it, this was possible until about Android 5, then they made it hard, and now they've made it easy again. This one is running Android 11 or 12, and it's easy again, which is nice. All you got to do is go to Options and export the certificate. And in DER format, you have to give it a name ending in CRT. So I'm going to call it burp.crt and save it somewhere. Like downloads is good. Okay, burp.crt. All right, so I'll save that. And now I just drag and drop it on the phone. So I bring up a window here and go to downloads. There's my burp.crt. Just drag. Let's see, got to drag, I say. There we are, drag and drop. Oh, I like to do it on the home page. I don't think it's necessary, but I sort of like to do it. It seems safer anyway. Burp, there we are. Drag and drop on the phone. And it tells you right there, APKs will be installed. Other files will be copied to SD card download. So there, a little box pops up for a second, copying files. It's now on the phone. So now I just have to install it. So I go to Settings, and whoops, I keep trying to sweep with two fingers, but now drag with this. Sorry, Settings, Security or something. Let me go to my instructions. This one here. We get about halfway. We went to Hackazon, and I'll have to fix the Hackazon server so you can get the flag there. But anyway, opening a secure page fails, so drag it on there, and the steps are Security, advanced encryption and credentials, although I think the advanced might not be here. It depends a little bit on your version of Android. So I should be able to find security somewhere. Okay, good. There it is, good security. And I think encryption and credentials, I didn't have to go to advanced on this version of Android. They move it around a little bit. Trusted credentials and install a certificate. There we are. Install a certificate authority certificate. This is going to warn me what's going on here. After this, your data won't be private. There can be a man-in-the-middle attack from this trusted certificate, but that's what I want, so I install anyway. And now, I can't find it because it's in some unexpected location. You have to go to the 3-bar icon and then go to Downloads. And there it is, burp.crt. So just click on that, and I'm going to install it. It's now done. It's installed, so now, when I go to, let me go to Burp, and go to History. I'm just going to clear all this old stuff. Okay, now I'm going to open Chrome again. And I'm going to go check https://samsclass.info. And you can already see a whole bunch of Google requests are going through the Burp now. And they wouldn't before because it didn't trust it. And so now it loads my page without complaining. And if you go down here, you'll see supposedly HTTPS connections are now being made to Google Ads, and someplace in here is going to be the request that load my page. Lost with all this, mixed into all this. There it is. There's the main one that loaded my page. All right, so that's all. Now I know how to intercept traffic without a certificate, so I'll see an error, and with a certificate. And as we're going to use, primarily we're going to use it without the certificate in the future, because we're going to want to see if there are any apps that let you make connections through a proxy without warning you. And that's a flaw, and it's a fairly common app flaw. Anyway, that's these first couple projects to go. And
uninstall the certificate?
Yeah, you can uninstall it. It was in settings. Uninstall it the same way you installed it.
Quick question.
Yeah.
So if you do that to, like, when someone leaves their computer and then you set that up physically to capture all their traffic without saying insecure or whatever, then how would they be able to see that, like, their certificates are actually no longer secure?
Well, that's a very good question. I mean, they would have to go in settings and look for it. That's why I think if you're running a security suite on a Windows device, it might warn you about this sort of thing, but I think they don't. But I wonder if you put an antivirus on your, like a blue, there used to be blue something. There are various antivirus products for the phone. I wonder if any of them would warn you. It's a good question. Normally users don't know, and you can just hijack them. And for example, China does it frequently. They reroute global traffic to go through China, and then they sign it with a Chinese certificate, which is one of trusted authorities. So they've attacked various American companies occasionally that way, and the government.
There is a CPE, the telecom company, the network company, CPE, and then the company was saying that they got configuration messed up, and that's why it got all the data center.
Yes, it often is a mistake, but a few of them were pretty obviously real attacks, like to reroute just Gmail for half an hour just from like the NSA or something. And then that's why some people like to use certificate pinning, where you not only trust that the certificate is in the trusted list, but you also make sure it's exactly the one you expect. Because anybody else in the trusted list could spoof one, and people do that. Nation states do that. And the more rich hackers that can get access to those certificates. But normal hackers don't have that option. Anyway, so there's one thing I thought I would show you. I had this working before class. I can do another project. Now, some of these projects are old, and I haven't tested them in a while, but I got this one working, a plain text login. Let's take a look at this one. So I think I took that app out of here. The app is no longer in the store, so you have to just use the APK. This is a thing called a travel app. So you could do it with Burp, by the way, and I guess I'll do it that way first. Just download this app. Oh, right. Well, if they're going to be like that, I'm going to use my VPN. I have WireGuard on this thing for just this reason. So let me stop the streaming and restart it. And I guess I'll stop the recording too and restart it because I'm going to change networks. But I'm not going to put up with this. Yeah, I assume the NSA, by the way, does the same thing with a trusted CA, I imagine. All right, I'll be back in Twitch in a minute, folks. I'm stopping the streaming and recording.